Okay, so today I'm going to be sharing the 5 self-care myths that I have learned over the last 5 years of me doing self-care. I don't know if y'all going to be ready for this because, okay, I'm going to just let you know right now. They're hard to hear, but they're true. Okay, I gave you a disclaimer. We hopping on in this thing. So, 5 myths that I have grown and learned to know to be true about self-care. Myths that are lies, and I'm also going to tell you what the truth is. So, number 1, what? Apologies. Have y'all seen Queen Charlotte? Sorrows, prayers. Okay, so I apologize for that. But number 1, self-care is not pampering. Self-care is not pampering. It is not just a surface level thing. It is not just an external thing either. It is actually quite deep. I would even say self-care goes down to like a cellular level. Like it can be super duper deep. Now, I like to liken this to like pimples versus like sugary consumption. Now, if you go and say you're breaking out, let's say you're breaking out, and you have like pimples just all over your face, right? And you're trying to figure out what it is. You don't know what it is. You just go to the store and you buy like some pimple cream. You put the pimple cream on top of your face. That's a topical solution, right? Or you wash your face more often. That's still a topical solution. What about all the sugar you keep consuming that is creating the reaction in your body, and your body is trying to excrete the gunk? What about that? What if you solve the root of the problem? Then you won't have as many pimples. Yes, still wash your face. Yes, still treat your skin topically whenever it needs that. However, you won't have to spend as much money or time on topical treatments when you find and resolve the root issue. Boom. Okay, myth number 2 about self-care. It is not a quick fix. Like all self-care is not like a 5-minute pick me up. Like going and getting ice cream, your favorite type of ice cream, that's just not what it is. It is something that takes dedication. It takes time. It takes nurturing. It takes consistency. It takes all the things, okay? And I liken this to, bear with me. You ready for this one? I liken this. Self-care is not a quick fix. It takes time, dedication, and nurturing and consistency. This is like saying you're going to put a Band-Aid on a broken bone. Can you imagine? Putting a Band-Aid on a broken bone? What? What is that? What do you mean if it was like poking out of the skin? Come on now. And you saw the doctor just put a Band-Aid on it. You gonna be like, no pain meds, no nothing. What? That's crazy. But we do that sometimes. Sometimes we do that. There is trauma happening, very serious ER level trauma happening, and we will go and grab a Band-Aid and we'll say, oh, I'll be fine. I'm just going to go to sleep, and I think when I wake up in the morning, I'll be well. That's not how it works. Okay. There is no quick fix for self-care. You have to go and do the work. It just is what it is. There are ways for you to do self-care in a short length of time, but you getting to the point where you can do the self-care in a short length of time and it gives you a continual level of a result, like a higher quality result. You have to do work in order to get to that position to have that type of result. It was not an overnight fix. Okay. Number 3. Self-care, the third self-care myth that I have learned in the last 5 years is self-care is not a perfect science. Instead, self-care requires practice and it requires mistakes. I can't even tell you, like, whew. I thought that some things would be self-care for me, and I learned real quickly that they were not. And it kind of sort of goes into my next point that I'm gonna make, that self-care, number 4, the 4th myth, self-care is not cookie cutter. Like, I think so many people think that self-care is a cookie cutter thing. Like, they can just download these apps and these calendars and these lists and all of this stuff, all of these self-care tips, and think that, oh, I'm just going to do all these things. I'm going to do these 30 days, this 30-day challenge, and I'm going to do all this stuff, and my self-care is going to be great for the rest of the year or whatever. Like, it is so not cookie cutter, because what can be self-care for you may not be self-care for me. What can be self-care for me may not be self-care for you. So an example for that is, I really I really enjoy cookies and cream ice cream, right? But you might hate cookies and cream ice cream. In the same way, don't come for me. I'm just telling you right now, don't come for me, okay? Drop it in the comments and leave it where it's at, okay? You might love mint chocolate chip ice cream, but I cannot stand mint chocolate chip ice cream. Like, it's just, I feel like it's a ripoff. Like, it's a cop out. Like, are you supposed to be cookies and cream? And like, who added the green stuff? Like, why do we need peppermint? Does your breath stink? Like, I don't know. Okay, I wasn't supposed to be coming for mint chocolate chip. I'm sorry. I did take it a little too far. I apologize. But what I'm saying is, what you like and what I like are going to be two totally different things. And for me, if what is most calming, relaxing, rejuvenating for me is cookies and cream ice cream, for me to go out and do a cookie cutter thing, such as buying the thing that's literally on this list, mint chocolate chip, that's literally on this 30-day calendar of self-care things that somebody else made according to their self-care and what is calming and relaxing to them. If I follow this T by T, letter by letter, it might not work for me. And I have to be okay with that fact, especially in the beginning, when you're first starting to do your self-care, when you're first starting to prioritize your self-care. And you may not be aware of the fact that there's different things that have to do with self-care, and like, you don't really know what self-care is for you. And so you're just testing out things. That's perfectly fine. That's perfectly okay. I think that is absolutely necessary and required for you to explore and discover what actually brings you a level of calm and peace that you desire to have. But once you get to the point where you know, then you need to switch it over, because the cookie cutter stuff isn't working and you know it's not working. So why are you holding yourself hostage in the same spot? Like, you're asking to feel like a failure. You're asking to continue to feel stressed and overwhelmed and frustrated. Like, do what you need to do. Stop relying on cookie cutter solutions and go and get yourself a customized solution that includes a level of your self-awareness, that includes the level of customization that you desire your self-care solution to have. Help you reach your self-care goal the way it works best for you, because it's needed, it's necessary. It's the only way that your self-care is going to improve, is if you get a customized solution. You cannot rely on cookie cutter self-care. Can't stress that enough, okay? All right. The fifth myth that I have learned in the last 5 years about self-care is the fact that self-care is not a one and done. Self-care is never, ever, ever gonna be a one and done. It will always take time. It will always be a lifelong journey. It is a lifestyle, and it requires a lifestyle change. If you know that you do not desire to change the current lifestyle that you're living, honey, just be real with yourself and give it up right now. You don't have to lie to yourself and say, oh, I want to prioritize self-care when you really know that you're not ready to change. It's okay for you to not be ready to change. Just accept it. Like, just accept it. Don't waste your time. Don't waste nobody else's time. Just roll with the fact that you are not ready to change. Okay? I'm telling you right now, it is absolutely perfectly fine and okay and dandy for you to stay where you at. Loads of people do it all the time. Loads of people. They're doing okay. It may not be the absolute best that they can do in their life, but they're where they want to be, which is exactly where they want to be, which is exactly where they are right now. And that's where they want to be. They don't want to grow. That's fine. Okay. But if you do want to grow, if you do want your lifestyle to change, if you know for a fact that you want to be living in a life where you're able to ebb and flow, you get stressed, you drop some self-care in there. You get frustrated, you drop some self-care in there. Like, it's an automatic sort of reaction to where you have this level of balance in your life that just feels like you're just at a sense of peace. You sort of radiate peace out of you, and other people are like, wow, why is she not stressed right now? Like, I would be so chaotic and crazy and anxious, but that's not you anymore. Like, that's a really dope place to be. And if you know that that's the type of life you want to live as stress-free a life as you can live, start the journey. The sooner you start the journey, the sooner you will get to that destination, because it will require mistakes. It will require practice. It will require you developing your level of self-awareness so that you can figure out what those customizations need to be for your self-care routine and for your specific life that you want to live. And here's another tidbit. I don't think I've made a video on this yet, but I will in the future. When you enter into different seasons of life, your self-care is going to have to shift with that season. What do I mean by that? Okay, for women, when we are in our single season, life is different from what it's going to be when we're in our married season, married no kids. Married no kids season is very different from married with kids season. All of those seasons that I just named are very different from single mother season. Like, and I'm not wishing single motherhood on you, but there are some single mothers in my audience, and self-care is going to look different for you than it does for your single best friend. Like, and you have to be okay with that. It doesn't mean that there's no hope for you. It doesn't mean that you can't do self-care even though you're married. You can't do self-care if you don't have a kid. Like, you're somehow not stressed enough. You're somehow not busy enough to do self-care or to complain that you feel overwhelmed or stressed or anxious. Like, you deserve self-care no matter what season of life you're in. And all it takes is for you to get like hardcore determined. You are fed up with being fed up. You don't want to live life how you've been living it in the past. You want a change. You want self-care to be included into your everyday life. You want it to become a lifestyle, and you start working toward that thing. Period. Okay? Those are the 5 myths about self-care that I have learned over the past 5 years that I've been doing self-care. My name is Kahdija Imari, and I'm a self-care lifestyle strategist and the founder of COCO Love. And I'm super excited that I get to talk to you about different ways to prioritize your peace and do more self-care in real life. I will catch you in the next video.